Midpoint of complex numbers. So similar to the last assignment, we're basically in some ways drawing a triangle, but so we had to plot our middle point. Now this one's pretty easy because it's a straight line. Typically when we have at an angle, we'll have to figure out the distance both on the x-axis and then the horizontal axis and find the halfway point. But this one, we can see our z1 goes to 8, z2 goes to 2. Well, 2 to 8 is 6. Half of 6 is 3. So that means we can add 2 plus 3 is 5 right here. Or 8 minus 3 would be also 5. That's our midpoint. These get more and more challenging when they're at an angle. So we'll wait till we get to that one. So I'm going to plot this, 14 plus 6i, and negative 6 plus 6i. Actually, now that I realize this is easier than I thought it was at first. These are both on 6i. We're going to go up to the same spot. So our back end is going to be 6i regardless. So all I have to do is figure the midpoint between 14 and negative 6. Well, that's a total distance of 20. So half of 20 is 10. So we can either do 14 minus 10, which would be 4, or negative 6 plus 10, which would also be 4. So our first number is 4. Okay. And you can do the same thing even though we're different numbers. Like you have 6i and 8i. It would just be halfway between. So it would be 7i. So it's really not that hard. Okay, here's one on an angle. So z1, z2. z1 goes to 7. z2 is at 1, which means that we need to go somewhere in the middle, which is 4. It's here. And then z1 is at 4, and z2 is at negative 8. So from 4 to negative 8 is 12. And half of 12 is 6, which means that we go from 4 minus 6 would be negative 2, or negative 8 plus 6 would also be negative 2. So we've plotted the midpoint on the x-axis, and then also on the imaginary axis, the y-axis. And we're done. One more question, rather. All right, so 2 plus 4i and negative 6 minus 3i. So let's do the real first. From 2 to negative 6 is a total of 8. So half of 8 is 4. So 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Or negative 6 plus 4 is also negative 2. And then from 4 to negative 3i is 7i. 7i over 2 is a fraction. Oh, I didn't have it right. So there you go. Let's do that. Actually, we're going to do the math. So we have 7i total, and we're dividing by 2. And we need to subtract or add. I'm going to subtract it from 4i. Okay, so 4i minus that. So to get 4i, I have the same denominator. We multiply both by 2. So that means that we get 8i over 2. 8i minus 7i is I. And our denominator stays the same. So it's just simply I over 2. So plus I over 2. That's probably about as hard as you're going to get right there. And we're done.